John Gill, Obadiah 1:7. Scripture quote, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border," unquote. John Gill. "Or of thy covenant that are in league with thee, thy allies, even all of them proved treacherous to thee, in whom thou trustest. When they sent their ambassadors to them, they received them kindly, promised great things to them, dismissed them honorably, accompanied them to the borders of their country, but never stood to their engagements. Or those allies came and joined their forces with the Edomites, went out with them to meet the enemy as if they would fight with them and them. But when they came to the border of the land, they left them and departed into their own country, or went over to the enemy, or these confederates were the instruments of expelling them out of their own land and sending them to the border of it, and carrying them captive, or they followed them to the border of the land, when they were carried captive, as if they lamented their case, when they were assisting to the enemy, as kimchi so deceitfully they were." The Targum is of the same purpose. "From the border all thy confederates carried thee captives." Scripture quote, "The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee," unquote. Outwitted them in their treaties of peace, and got the advantage of them, or they proved treacherous to them, and joined the enemy against them, or they persuaded them to declare themselves enemies to the Chaldeans. They proved their ruin, and so they prevailed against them. Scripture quote, "They that eat thy bread," unquote. So the Targum and kimchi supply it, or it may be supplied from the preceding clause. "The men of thy bread, who received subsidies from them, were maintained by them and quartered among them." Scripture quote, "have laid a wound upon thee," unquote. Instead of supporting them, secretly did that which was wounding to them. The word signifies both a wound and a plaster. They pretended to lay a plaster to heal, but made a wound, or made the wound worse. The Targum is, "they laid a stumbling block under thee, at which they stumbled and fell," or snares, as the Vulgate Latin version, whereby they brought them to ruin. Scripture quote, "There is none understanding in him," unquote. In Esau or the Edomites, they were so stupid that they could not see into the designs of their pretend friends and prevent the execution of them and their ill effects. End of Obadiah 1:7.